The second greatest wing.
Passion, heart,
Now let me stop.
determination. He was a 10-time NHL All-Star, 3-time Stanley Cup champion, Olympic gold medalist, and the recipient of the Selke, Lester Pearson, and the Conn Smythe Trophy. He was the embodiment of the Detroit Red Wings, playing his entire 22-year career there, serving as captain for 19, leading the team back
he was
to the
captain
promised
for
land.
19?
A player who never let any injury get the better of him, who sacrificed everything just to win. Standing at 5'10", 178 pounds, he's Stevie Y, the captain.
Stevie
Number
Y.
19, Steve Yzerman.
Steve Yzerman, man. We're here for Steve Yzerman.
Gregory Yzerman was born on May 9th, 1965.
Y'all told me to do
Canberra,
Steve, so we're
British
here.
Columbia, Canada. Skating at 3 years old and joining a local team at 5, he wasn't very good to start, especially when it came to skating, and he's had to work hard to overcome that weakness. Legend has it that Yzerman's first goal as a kid resulted from him crashing the net, falling over, and the opposing defenseman clearing the puck off another defenseman and into the net. Even though Yzerman would go on to score many goals prettier than that one, it was a foreshadowing of his willingness to do whatever it took to win. At the age of 10, Yzerman's family moved to Nepean, a suburb of Ottawa, and he started to specialize in hockey. As he advanced through his teenage years, Yzerman suited up for the Nepean Raiders, a team playing in the Central Junior Hockey League where he was competing against players as old as 20. Yzerman wasn't very big to begin with, and this was where he learned how to play against larger opponents as he went on to win the Rookie of the Year, Outstanding Midget, and was the first team All-Star center.
Outstanding Midget?
By the time he was 16, Yzerman was drafted into the Ontario Hockey League by the Peterborough Petes, scoring 155 points in 114 games in his 2 seasons there, demonstrating his offensive acumen and responsible defensive play. He was ready for the NHL, and in the 1983 NHL entry draft, he was selected 4th overall by the Detroit Red Wings. The Red Wings were an awful team at the time, as the team had missed the playoffs 15 times over the previous 17 years. The arena was only a quarter full at any given home game, and the fans gave them the nickname the Dead Wings. With their 4th overall pick, they wanted to pick local boy Pat LaFontaine, as they thought he was much easier to market and rebuild the franchise around. But when he was chosen 3rd overall by the Islanders, the Red Wings could only settle for Yzerman. Little did they know at the time that their consolation prize would resurrect the team, bring them out of the Dead Wings era, and launch them into what is now known as the Steve Yzerman era. Heading into training camp in 1983, management was fully prepared to send Yzerman back to junior for more seasoning, but he played lights out in training camp as he earned his spot on the team to start the regular season, scoring a goal and an assist in his first game. He would end his rookie campaign with 39 goals and 87 points, but would finish 2nd in voting for the Calder Trophy, coming up short to goalie Tom Barrasso.
Ooh, he lost Rookie of the Year. That's nasty work. That's crazy. That goalie must have been like that.
Finished 2nd in voting for the Calder Trophy, coming up short to goalie Tom Barrasso. Over the next few seasons, Yzerman would morph into a marquee player. He was silky, weaving in and out of high traffic areas as if nobody could touch him. He was responsible, as he was not only relied upon to create goals, but to prevent them as well. His slap shot was so hard, so lethal, that the opposition had no other choice but to respect it, and he was fearless, regularly going to the tough areas of the ice and never getting intimidated. But perhaps most importantly, Yzerman's mental toughness was second to none, always competing, always improving, always determined to win. And because of these characteristics, in 1986, at the age of 21, Yzerman was given the captaincy, being entrusted to bring the Red Wings back to former glory. In the next several years, Yzerman would develop into one of the league's top offensive producers, reaching 100 points in each of the following 6 seasons, scoring 50 goals in 5 of them. In the 88-89 season, he registered an insane 65 goals, 90 assists,
155 points. He better have got a couple MVPs. What are you talking about? Damn. That's crazy. Stop playing.
And 155 points to put him in some elite company. The only 2 players who have scored more points in a single season, Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux.
Yo, Yo, Wade Gretzky, bro. Wade Gretzky is no good, bro. This man is 1, 2, 3, 4. Mario 5, 6. This is insane, bro. Most boys, that's Wayne Gretzky.
To have scored more points in a single season,
but Mario is different.
Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux. But even though Yzerman would have great offensive success,
hold on, so he had 155. Damn. So Wayne and Mario is the only 2 people. That's crazy. That's insane if you think about it. That's an elite company.
Carry the team so far, and they would continue to suffer early playoff exits. They needed some reinforcements, and they got them by secretly drafting well over the past few years. They also needed someone with playoff experience, someone who had the winning formula, and they turned to a coach in 1993 who had won 7 Stanley Cups, Scotty Bowman. The Red Wings had no problem scoring goals at the time, but as the play got tougher in the playoffs and the goals dried up, so did the team's fortunes. Bowman identified that in order to find playoff success, the team needed to focus on tighter defense, and he needed one player to practice what he was preaching. That player was not Steve Yzerman. Yzerman had been used primarily in offensive situations since his arrival in the league 10 years prior, so initially he found it hard to buy into the defensive system deployed by Bowman. And if a player doesn't fit into a coach's system, typically that would mean he's on his way out. And that was almost the case, as Yzerman was very nearly traded to the Ottawa Senators.
Damn.
Steve Yzerman was known for his determination and willpower, and he wasn't about to give up.
Oh, but not playing defense?
His rivals had won multiple championships already, and there he was after over a decade in the NHL, and he hadn't even gone within striking distance of the Stanley Cup. Furthermore,
ask Connor McDavid about that, man. It hurts right now to this day. I'm hurt about that.
Ample criticism that he was incapable of leading his team to success.
He still got a chance, though.
Something had to change, and he began to buy into the defensive system. Back-checking, blocking shots, playing physically, he was in it to win it. Yzerman had become a true leader, leading by example on a nightly basis. The team saw how much he sacrificed himself for the team, and it had a trickle-down effect throughout the lineup. He was well respected before, but now his relationship with his team had reached another level. Yzerman's teammates were now willing to run through walls for him, as they knew he would do the same for them. Yzerman had changed the mantra of the team, turning them into a unit that did whatever it took to win. They had become a well-oiled machine, finally ready to challenge for the Stanley Cup. In 1995, Yzerman led the Red Wings to its first Stanley Cup Finals appearance since 1966, but was swept by a powerhouse New Jersey Devils team.
Damn!
Another year,
swept
another
is crazy.
But if we've learned something about Yzerman, we know he was going to come back stronger than ever. In the following 1996 playoffs, Yzerman would lead Detroit to an NHL record 62 wins in the regular season, heading into the playoffs as clear favorites.
NHL record?
The Red Wings would eliminate the Winnipeg Jets in 6, followed by a tight series against the St. Louis Blues. Heading into double overtime in Game 7, Yzerman would strip Wayne Gretzky of the puck and fire a rocket to win the series and our hearts.
Oh! He stripped who of the puck? Say that name again?
Blues. Heading into double overtime in Game 7, Yzerman would strip Wayne Gretzky of the puck and fire a rocket to win the series and our hearts. The Red Wings would ultimately crash out of the playoffs at the hands of the Colorado Avalanche in 6 games, and Yzerman was again faced with criticism. It was heartbreak after heartbreak, and it was enough to make anyone give up. But Yzerman was determined to succeed, as he would have a monumental season of 96-97. It's now been 14 years and 1,000 games into his career, and with each year of failure, the weight on his shoulders continued to grow. He started to understand that regular season success meant nothing if it wasn't followed up with a strong playoffs. And so the Red Wings cruised into the playoffs that year with 94 points, a 37-point decline from the season before, as they prepared for a deep playoff run. Yzerman would lead Detroit past the St. Louis Blues in 6 games, then the Anaheim Mighty Ducks in 4 to book a place in the conference finals against old adversary, the Colorado Avalanche. Everyone expected the Red Wings to come out for revenge for a hit on Chris Drake in the previous season, but Yzerman cared about winning as the team focused on the final prize, and they eliminated the Avalanche in 6 games to advance to the Stanley Cup Finals. In the finals, the Philadelphia Flyers' physicality was effectively neutralized by Detroit's speed and skill, and Yzerman would win his first Stanley Cup, ending a 42-year drought for the Red Wings.
42
Steve
years.
Yzerman was in utter euphoria as he had finally realized his dream to become a Stanley Cup champion, but something would happen the following week that would put an abrupt end to their celebrations. A limousine crash carrying a couple of Red Wings would result in Vladimir Konstantinov being in critical condition. He would never play hockey again.
Damn! A limousine crash. Damn! Damn! Bruh.
Hey, bro, come on now, dawg. Come on,
And
man.
during a time of sadness and grief, it was Yzerman who rallied the troops. It was Yzerman who got them to focus on ice success in the name of their fallen comrade. And in the following 97-98 playoffs, the Red Wings would beat the Phoenix Coyotes, St. Louis Blues, Dallas Stars, and the Washington Capitals to win a second consecutive Stanley
Ooh! Pat said, I'm going back to back. Stevie said, I'm going back to back.
Cup. Yzerman's 24 points won him the Conn Smythe Trophy as the playoff MVP, but more importantly, the team had done it for Vladdy, and as Yzerman went up to claim the Stanley Cup, the team had done it for...
Yo, imagine going from champion to, bro, that's insane, bro. Damn, man. That shit hurt. Damn. I'm glad they went back to back, though, man. That's love, man. Damn, bro.
For Vladdy, and as Yzerman went up to claim the Stanley Cup, his first course of action was to hand it to him. Yzerman had been a great hockey player so far, but the 2 Stanley Cups have made him into a legend. Surely there couldn't be anything else he could do to elevate his status anymore, could there? Aside from winning the Selke Trophy in 1999 as the top defensive forward, scoring 692 goals and 1,755 points over his entire career, and striking gold for Team Canada in 2002,
he ain't get no MVPs.
Yzerman's performances in the 2002 Stanley Cup playoffs
was
were nothing short of astonishing. A knee injury had reduced Yzerman to 52 games that year, but his incredible pain tolerance allowed him to return for the playoffs, and practically playing on one leg, he didn't miss a game, scoring 23 points in 23 games to lead the leg. He didn't miss a game, scoring 23 points in 23 games to lead the Red Wings to another Stanley Cup.
A third one?
Steve Yzerman announced his retirement in 2006.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Steve Yzerman might be up there. My thing is, do we got any MVPs though? They was hating on Steve when it came to the votings, bro. Something ain't right.
Ending his exalted career, and he would become the Detroit Red Wings vice president and alternate governor later that year. And as if it was ever really in doubt, he would also be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame class of 2009. Yzerman would become the general manager of the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2010, building a team that would reach the Stanley Cup Finals just 5 years later, winning him the General Manager of the Year. And even though the Tampa Bay Lightning would go on to win back-to-back Stanley Cups in 2020 and 2021, a couple of years after the departure of Yzerman, it was his trades and draft picks that had formed the nucleus of the team. Steve Yzerman will be remembered for his leadership and mental toughness. Through his
he one of the GOATs then. He one of the GOATs. Player and general manager, he 1-on-1. You don't get him like that nowadays, boy.
Sheer will.
Usually one on
he's changed the fate of himself, his teammates, and the whole city of Detroit. He was captain of the Red Wings for 19 years, the longest in the history of the NHL, and it seems silly now that he was once questioned for his ability to lead his team. Yzerman believed in leading by example, as he showed up to work every single day. His way of leading wasn't to tell his teammates to do this and that, but to set a high bar and do it himself instead. And when the captain is willing to do such things, everyone else couldn't help but follow his lead. His teammates realized that he was not only someone who they could play for, but someone who they can live and die for. And it is with this I'd like us to learn from Steve Yzerman. True leaders don't just bark out commands as nobody likes being ordered around. Actions speak louder than words, and the ones who truly deserve our respect are the ones who show us, rather than tell us, how things are done. I've been fortunate to work with such bosses in the past, and these were the types of leaders I was willing to give my heart to, the leaders I would give 110% to, and go above and beyond for. If you're blessed to have a...
That's crazy. I'm not gonna lie to y'all though, but I'm keeping 100. The fact that he ain't give him no MVP or nothing, I'm mad about that, bro, because he should have an MVP. Like, why don't he got an MVP, bro? Why don't he got an MVP? 155 goals, so how did he win MVP that year? On my tripping, he just didn't say he got MVP. But he got 3 Stanley Cups. That's nasty. That's tough. But I feel like there can be better videos on this guy, though, because, bro, I feel like I want to see more, like, highlights and more, like, stats about his, like, awards and stuff. Like, I feel like he didn't give me all of it, man. But look, man, like, comment, subscribe, man. Let me know in the comments who I want me to react to next, discover next. And let me know more about this doing the comments, man. I thought they'd be leaving stuff out, to be honest.